Welcome to another episode of EBMG's Melanated News You Can Use. I'm your host, Lady Lila Brown, delivering some fresh new news content. And I also have some local news stories. And every once in a while I get to bring in some international news, so that's always great. Got some sports stories. Some things coming up with the Olympics, so we'll be counting that in the next couple of days. And then also LA Lakers star, future Hall of Fame legend LeBron James brings the Tribeca Film Festival to Los Angeles for its sports programming block. So I got to check out a lot of great movies, meet a lot of sports legends, so that's always a good thing. And we'll get going with our clips. And so my last broadcast, I was able to talk about the United Nations ambassador coming to Los Angeles. And so the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, held a reception in her home, the mayoral residence, the official mayoral residence. So I wanted to, just kind of wrap that up because I think I had some technical difficulties this weekend with it, but that's okay. I got the main part of the story out. You guys know I can go for hours and hours on this thing, but it's good to kind of cut it off, make my point. But I was able to tie that in with the humanitarian violations and crisis and aid in the conflict that's happening in Sudan. So we got to update that because there has not been a lot of appropriate response and a lot of fallout from the backtracking of U.S. policy in these areas. Unfortunately, we see that matriculated through Sudan. So people are still trying to get out, but the story that we reported on coming out of the last broadcast was that young girls, especially women and young girls, are being kidnapped. And we saw this play out with Boko Haram and the Janjaweed. So keeping an eye on that area. So it was great to hear from the United Nations ambassador and hear what she had to say about Sudan. So I'm going to take some time to invite some people in. I'm trying to keep this broadcast going. If we could do this daily, that would be great. But I am excited about the news I'm able to present. I have a story coming out this week, just updating about some of the housing issues, but really focusing on Section 8. So, I may be on doing my broadcast a little bit more this week. So I think that'll be, so I was able to, just bring some more perspective and insight to what's going on there. So I want to take some time to invite people in, and then, just always trying to keep a clean and smooth broadcast here, make sure we're running on all cylinders. But I'm going to cut over to the news story. And I'm just going to, on the United Nations ambassador, if you want to see the full speech, you can either check my last broadcast or you can see the full length of the speech on my YouTube. But I'm just going to kind of cut because she noted some issues, with the United Nations and the global issues and the U.S. involvement. And, so Ambassador Linda Greenfield Thomas also had opportunity to speak to area youth while she was visiting Los Angeles, and I got a little bit of that. But again, a lot of these stories you'll see posted on my website, a lot of information. So I'm going to try to keep it with international news. And then my global sports news story is that we are 1 year away from the Olympic Games in Paris, France, 2024 Paris Games. So looking forward to that, and just kind of wanted to remind everybody that it's getting closer to the Olympics, and then from there, the torch will be handed over to the great city of Los Angeles. So thank you all that tune in. Thank you to those that are able to make donations. Thank you for liking the videos, commenting, sharing, subscribing. If you're here, tuned in, let me know. Hey, how are you? Welcome. I see some YouTubers coming in. That's always a good sign. But and then as I get some of this news out of the way, we can go back into some deeper American Indian, Indigenous, Native American talks, and then we will continue to go through the reparations proposals and recommendations. And so I was able to pose a question to the mayor of Los Angeles because not only does the state of California have a reparations task force, but the city of Los Angeles now has a reparations advisory commission. And I think the only other county to have a reparations task force is Atlanta, Georgia. And it's amazing how very little attention has been paid to that. Zero movement in that way. But yes, by all means, Killer Mike, do your thing, do your thing. So I'm going to go over to my story. Allow me to just kind of get everything going here. And, you know, like I said, it's always my goal to give you all the smoothest of, broadcasts. But I think we got something going here. And I'm just going to play the tail end of the speech from the United Nations ambassador, our U.S. representative, also on the Security Council at the UN. So, great. Great.
Since then, clearly our work is far from finished. So we must stand together to uphold the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and call out anyone, anywhere who tries to roll back our hard-earned progress. This is how we fight for security and dignity of all, everywhere in the world. This is how we honor the UN Charter, which calls on all of us to address issues of peace and security. Now, I know this is a daunting list of challenges, and believe me, it is not the only list. There are many other challenges that we face. But the good news is this: we do have the power to address all five.
Hi, are we still here? Good, I'm glad. Thank you to those that are tuning in on the YouTube. Great. Okay, so I'm just gonna go live here, and I was inviting some friends to come in, so hopefully we're still good here. Good. Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to show a little bit of the tail end there from our United Nations ambassador. I was happy to get that clip. Very, very happy to get that clip. That's important to me. Is muy importante. And great. Thank you. Thank you for commenting. Let me know that you're here. We're rolling in high definition here. So I'm trying to present these clips. I put a lot of these on my YouTube. I try to make like a nice little quick episode. And I want to go through so many clips. I want to go through a lot. There's a lot of news happening. And then I'm always happy that I can go out and get some of these stories myself. So that happens a lot. We're just trying to, like I said, go over, cut to some of these broadcasts, and I'm very happy that I'm able to produce this. This is the way I like to present the news. So, we're gonna keep making upgrades and advancement. And thank you to everyone that makes a donation and contributes to sharing, liking, commenting, and things like that. Now, I just wanted to go and give my 2 cents why I thought it was very important that our United Nations ambassador also talked about humanitarian issues, because we have what we call the United Nations DRIP laws. UNDRIP, some people will call it, but the United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. And so when you see cases of the Aboriginal winning their land rights in the world courts, and as international communities decide, it is decided that yes, indeed, these Aboriginal groups have the sovereign rights to their land, and so and being recognized. So colonization is still happening. So here in these United States, a lot of land rights is being up for dispute, and as people are repatriating back to their indigenous tribes, I hate to use the word absolved, but coming out of being a U.S. citizen. So people, you have to remember it's called the United States of America. Okay, great. So if you have any questions, please comment. Give me lots of hearts and thumbs up and things like that. Great, thank you. So I'm going to just share the video, and I would like to go over to some of the other clips. So while the United Nations ambassador was in Los Angeles, she spoke to some area youth, so that was really great as well. I just have a very short clip of that on my YouTube. And this is something I'm going to get into with the SAG-AFTRA, because I also did join the picket lines. It's like I like to go to where the action is. We're not playing any games here. So, yeah, let's make sure. I want to make sure that I'm opening it up. So if anyone wants to like the video, you can do that. And I like to take some time at the top of my broadcast to go ahead and invite some people in. Let's see. I want to make sure. Yep, all my privacy, all that good stuff. Great. Yeah. So, I noticed reparations was trending on Twitter, X.com, whatever they want to call it now. But for me, when we see what's happening in Florida, when we see what's happening in Texas, when we see what happened with the removal of human rights, at some point we gotta bring in the world courts. So I'm so happy the mayor, I mean, she put this amazing UN ambassador on my radar. So now I got to go figure out what's going on with that. But she promoted that there's going to be a summit, a sustainable development goals. So people might want to pay attention to that as well. I'm talking about trillions of dollars in commodities, exchanges, and natural resources, and all kind of planning. But the World Economic Forum has already stated that, capitalism failed, and everyone's trying to act like capitalism hasn't already fallen. But I guess it's like we're propping up, like it's like Weekend at Uncle Bernie's. We're just propping up a corpse here. The way of the world moving forward, it will be sustainable options, and basically a sustainable is just a nice word for saying ancient cultures, primitive, the originators of civilization. So I'm gonna get over to that. Yay! Great. Let's see. I'm gonna share that. And yeah, so to be amongst diplomats was like, oh my God, like a dream come true, actually. Wow, LA being an international city. Yay. All right, so I wanted to shoot over to this clip I have. And if you're liking on Facebook, I think even on YouTube, you can definitely give me multiple thumbs up. You just kind of lay on the thumbs up and the heart button there. So I wanted to talk about the SAG-AFTRA strike, because this is something that is definitely affecting melanated people in Los Angeles. But it seems like when we're talking about, labor disputes and rights, I thought we were excluded from these industries. I thought we couldn't get a job in Hollywood. So as the people in front of the camera are tap dancing and approved, the business of Hollywood is a tricky, tricky game. So I'm going to lay out some of my issues here. Great. So I want to talk about it, what's going on. And I want to give my perspective on what's happening with SAG-AFTRA. And then not only did I do a video one day, but I'm not the type of person that sit on the internet like these podcasters. I'm actually going to go visit the site in the active zones. So if you want to hear me out, what I got to say, give you my perspective, and then we'll shoot over to some interview footage, because I went to the picket lines of the SAG-AFTRA strike. So that's, I guess, my number 2 story. So we're rolling it out here. And thank you to those that tune in, whether you listen live or later. Give me a thumbs up, comment, all right, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So when I'm live, you can catch me live, and I can go ahead and answer some of your questions in real time, because I'm chasing a lot of stories. But as you know, my top stories, Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, and the aiding in homelessness. And then number 2, it's going to be, a mix between indigenous rights, reparations, and then we'll talk about some other things that could hopefully be useful news to you all. And so sometimes it'll be hyper local, but sometimes it'll be international. We can run the gamut here. We have the range. So thank you. I appreciate you all. And here's my perspective on the writers and the Screen Actor Guild, the writer strike and the actor strike. I want to make sure you guys can hear. Sorry about that. I want to make sure you guys can hear everything perfectly. Sorry about that. I got a lot of microphones going. Jeez. Okay. To it. Don't worry, we'll get right back into it. Gonna get not too far off. I am my own production crew. I'm doing so well. All right. And for those that tune into my social media, you may have seen some of my reels or my Instagram videos where we're talking about these things. So thank you. Again, my perspective on the issue.
Thing that's going on in and around Los Angeles and Hollywood with the Writers Guild of America strike, the writer strike, and the SAG-AFTRA strike that is affecting the actors that are now participating. So as I've watched Hollywood over the past decade really talk about a lack of diversity in front of the camera, and we've had actors come out, speak about the lack of diversity and the opportunities and role. Many writers and actors have struggled to even get these union jobs. So, for example, as a publicist, we have our Local 600 ICG, the International Cinematographers Guild. As a publicist, if I want to work on set, a production of a TV show or film, I would have to have a union card or be a part of a union. Well, how do you get into the union? Well, first and foremost, you need to have had a previous union job. So that's the catch-22. In order to get on a union project, you have had to have union credits in the past. Well, you can't get union credits if you're not in the union. So for Black actors and just listening to their stories and trying to comprehend and be more compassionate and understanding and empathetic to their struggle, I don't understand why Black actors are joining in on these strikes. Now, I'm thankful that the unions come in and they protect against exploitation and exhausting production crews and making sure that the actors, the talent, the staff is not being overworked, making sure that there are appropriate lunch breaks and things like that. And then we have to have safety issues, of course, because you're working on sets and you have, lighting equipment, things that can be dangerous. But from what I'm understanding, Black actors, for the most part, have really just started to take over Hollywood in the past couple of years. So, it's not to challenge my lack of understanding. Is really trying to comprehend the real struggle here. So, a lot of independent Black films and projects just have to be non-union projects. And best of luck and best wishes. So to participate in a union and show solidarity when most jobs aren't even afforded, like, let's be honest, like, it's very rare that you see a majority Black production crew. We are just starting to get more film and TV projects and even get budgets approved, greenlit, so we can have those amazing feature films. So if there are any actors or writers that want to help me understand this, I just think it'd be more lucrative to, again, start your own. If you feel like you're being excluded from an industry and then this industry goes on strike, this industry that has prohibited you from even getting jobs to begin with. And now I think there's so many more Black actors and writers getting onto projects and they feel like they want to join in solidarity, but it just seems counterproductive. I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around all of this. So please feel free to comment, chime in. Like I said, in the publicist world, it's a catch-22. If you want to get on a union project, you have to have union credits to begin with. If I don't have those union credits because I've never worked a union job, how am I to get work? So I think we all have a right to work based on our experience and our education. But if we're one day talking about a lack of diversity and representation and inclusion, and then the next day when that same industry goes on strike and then we're joining in solidarity, what gives? Please help me, anybody, if they want to comment and let me know, clue me in. All love and respect and best wishes to the writers, but and the actors. But I thought it'd be more lucrative if you to and I'm gonna say this, I think it'd be worthwhile for these studio execs to just really say, forget all the unions and then go hire the non-union laborers and watch how that really raises and lifts up the economy. Because there's only so many people that are even in the unions. So the studios really have the power here. If I was them, I would just go get all the non-union and all the and that could pose a risk, but Hollywood started, Hollywood did not begin with the union. So for now, I'm going to side with the studios on this one. I'm going to rock with the industry and the companies and say, there are people that are out there that are not in the unions and we ain't striking. So get with the people that are not and watch how that really lifts the local economy. Watch, I promise you. So I hope the studios to be another strike.
So that's me giving my perspective. Okay. Great. That's me giving my perspective as a publicist in Hollywood and having worked with actors in the past, having worked with writers and producers and directors. I mean, come on. Jesus, I don't feel like I should have to validate myself, but great. All right. So, thank you. So anybody, because I'm likening all of this to all labor unions. This is just another form. This is the entertainment side of a labor union. So just letting you know, we're having a live discussion here. I am live. And thank you to Mr. Jesse for tuning in. Amazing. Always good. So a union protects a lot in many ways. I know. If you are part of a union, it does not matter what skin color you are. See, that's what I'm getting. I'm going to shoot over to my clip where I interviewed some actors and some writers, and they are on some active shows right now. And I agree. So I'm learning. Thank you for that. It does not matter what skin color you are. You will receive the same rights and protection. And I think that's why some people want to join the labor union, because everybody's saying, like, if we didn't have a labor union and us being black workers, we would probably, be heavily exploited. But you were heavily exploited as chattel slaves. And so now that the white labor force and the black labor force is all working together, yes, let's definitely be rid of these color racial lines. So then all I'm saying is I need for those same actors to not come and then say, they won't give us jobs because we're black. And I'm like, well, you won't give black people jobs for your professional representation. So I guess representation is only extended to in front of the camera, but not behind the scenes. Your manager representation ain't black. Your publicist representation to your public fans isn't black. Your attorney representation and legal representation isn't black. So you get what I'm saying? So I'm all for worker rights sometimes. But how about those unions? Some unions stop you from getting jobs. And I don't know if that's the case in like other, retailers or manufacturers and things like that. Are they also stopping you from getting a job because you're not in the union? That's the backwards way of doing it. Oh, you can't get this job because you don't have any union credits. In acting, I think that's where the difference is. Oh, shucks. You never acted in a union level project? Well, you can't get on this union job. So then what I want to do to go practice my craft, remember arts and crafts skills? Well, go. Really what they just tell you. They really don't even give you. They give you some roundabout advice. So I'm going to shoot over to my interview. I went to the picket lines because it was Bridgerton Day at Netflix, and let's boycott. We the writers, oh ye that love Bridgerton. Oh ye that have written for Bridgerton. Oh ye that loves the writing of the books and the translation and adaptation from the writer to Shonda Rhimes writer. So I said, ooh, Bridgerton Day. I went to go pick it. And, well, look, some people just like to protest, okay? Some people just like to protest. So you just give me a sign, but I'm just like, I'm really with the studios. I'm really with the studios. You can give me it. I'll work. They don't want to work. I'll happily work. It's not that I'm trying to undermine the efforts, but geez Louise. So allow me here. I just want to make sure the microphones are good, and we're going to get right into my interview footage. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, so thank you for your comments. Let me know your 2 cents, what you think. Lay it on me. Now I interviewed one of the actors that I interviewed. He's a writer. He at the top of the interview, he's like, I don't want to name my show, but I guess we built a trust confidence because by the end of the interview, he was on record. Okay, he was on record telling us exactly what I would say a comedy show he write for on Netflix. But guess what? I edited that part out because I am all about protecting our brothers and sisters. So they do trust me. They're not that anonymous. You can go check their credits, but they just didn't want to. They not angry enough yet because they don't want to call out their shows. But we were calling out Bridgerton, and we were. I didn't wear my garb because I wear my queen garb every day. But out there, I was working. I was a working member of the public, and they still spotted me. Some people were like, I got caught by Getty Images. So Getty Image took my photo and got me. I'm on the record for Lila Brown at the WGA picket line. And then the next day I was at the Getty House. So one day I'm in Getty Images. The next day I'm in the Getty House. What's happening with life? The glow up is happening. All right, so we're going to shoot over. You're going to see me at the picket lines here interviewing some people. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are great. Thank you for your patience. And we're going to get this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm smarter than a computer. Thank you. We're going to figure this out. It may be a little delayed, but, we a heavy broadcast here.
This is Lady Lila Brown reporting on the scene. I'm at the headquarters for the streaming company giant Netflix, where today protesters are adding a little bit more costuming, theatrics, and pizzazz. Today, they really made a scene out of everything. You will see a lot of the protesters today really wanting to get the attention of Netflix and some of their favorite shows, such as Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton series. So they're dressed up today in Regency era garb, really letting it known that these are some of our favorite shows, and the writers should be paid their justice to really let their voices be heard on the collective bargaining agreement disputes between the writers and their companies that they're in partnership with. As you can see, there are cars. You can hear the honking in support and solidarity. So we're outside the Netflix headquarters here, where protesters are really letting their voices be heard about their dismay, and the writers and these streaming giants not being able to come to some type of agreement when it comes to streaming and payouts and all the distribution services that are associated with making sure that there is fair labor agreement. Let's maybe speak to some of the protesters.
My name is Dino. I am a writer for one of the top shows on Netflix that I shall not name at this moment, but we're doing very well, and we need to be paid for it. That's all.
All right, so SAG-AFTRA has joined the work stoppage.
Yes, that's very true.
So, okay, this is coming at the same time with the WGA.
Yes, I'm in both unions. I'm a writer and an actor, so I'm doubly angry that they are basically grifting 2 major unions whose jobs are to take care of the very people that help them make money. So it's very disturbing.
So the average person at home doesn't understand what's going on. We thought everything was okay.
It's not.
From the last bargaining agreement.
No, it wasn't.
So are you saying that the writers are not getting paid for their streaming when it comes to streaming revenue?
That is absolutely correct.
At the same time that Netflix has stopped fee sharing, and then there's probably would increase revenue. We see record profits from this.
Absolutely.
So how do writers normally get paid?
Well, I mean, in the old days, you basically got paid a very nice living for what you wrote, and as many times as it aired, that's when you were paid. That's what residuals are. But with streaming, there are no real mechanisms for residual payments because nothing is ever not on. If you work on a show and you have 12 episodes, they can show all 12 episodes at once, so you don't get repaid for each episode when it airs, and it's on a constant loop. And that's just unfair to us. We do one thing. The mechanism is supposed to be designed where every time something that you've written gets played, you get a piece of it. You get a share. That's why you do it. And also because you want to put out good work. But, now, no matter how many times they show it, 1 million times, 2 million times, they pay you once. Over the course of a year, it can be, most people are like, oh, writers make so much money. Comparatively speaking, yes, but it's not like it was in the old days. We got to do gig to gig to gig. You get on one show, you do 8 episodes, you make, 4,000 an episode. You think, okay, that's great. But what if you don't work anymore that year, which is quite probable in this highly competitive business. So you made $30,000, $40,000 that's supposed to support you and your family for the entire year. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not fair.
And so a lot of people have also cited that they don't even really know the true analytics of their shows or the ratings because this is not information that's readily given.
No, they don't want it. This algorithm.
Better than what they're telling you?
It's absolutely better. I mean, I would imagine because too many people are making ridiculous amounts of money, and that's what they don't seem to understand is writers and actors, writers foremost, we don't want all the money. We just want to write, but I mean, you got to pay us. I can't write if I can't buy food.
What do you say to the outsiders that want to become a writer and they're not a part of the union and they're having issues getting in the union? The studios could undermine this whole effort and hire out.
They could, but that's a very dangerous thing to do as a young or fledgling writer who's not in the union, because the union is what gets you perks. It gets you your health insurance. It gets you your dental insurance. It makes sure that you get paid a fair wage when you get a job. So it's always, people want to work. I get it. You want to write, you want to be on this hot show, and I can go in and they're not even going to make me be in the union. But that word is going to spread. It's quite probable it would be very difficult for you to work freely in the future behind that.
And so how do you juxtapose that with the fact that we're listening to the writers, the actors, producers who are having trouble because of lack of diversity in Hollywood.
Sure.
How do you join in solidarity with something that has normally excluded us?
Well, as a child of the South, you can try to exclude me, but my talent and my skill ability it makes me more valuable than your exclusivity. So I've worked on tons of shows where I've been the only black person in the room, and I've worked on shows where there have been only 1 or 2 white people in the room. It kind of cuts both ways, but you can't fight something unless you're involved in it. So I don't allow things to exclude me. I go where I want, I say what I want, I'm going to work where I want, and I'm going to let my talent and ability be the demarcating factor in whether or not you're going to keep me around or not.
What's up, y'all? My name is Brandon Brown. I'm an actor in the infamous words of Jay-Z, Sean Carter. Pay us what you owe us for all of you what you hold us. Netflix, Disney, everybody, we want our money. Y'all can't replace us with AI. AI can't do what we do. Stop shorting us on the residual. I got a residual check. I was on Howard. I got a residual check for $4. And it just aired 2 years ago. Save my money.
So as you can see, overall, the protesting and picketing was very peaceful, even though the actors and the writers are extreme.
Yeah. So it was a peaceful day. I was able to get a lot more information from the talent. I hope this story continues. And as there are developments with the writers and the actors striking, I will, put some clips out there on social media, on my YouTube, but and really just clue you all in, because you're not feeling it now, but you'll feel it in a few months when there's nothing to watch on Netflix because y'all done binge watched everything. And so the shows, there's tons of shows, new movies, and especially during the pandemic, everybody was bored. They were inside. So I was able to go to the front lines, and I was happy that I learned a little bit more. Not sure if I'm all the way convinced, but I will continue to investigate what's going on there. So I thank everyone that's tuning in and checking out, whether you can stay for just a few moments. I appreciate that either way. Um, and listening live or later, I appreciate every view, comment, like, share. Let me know what you think about some of the stories that I'm sharing. I greatly appreciate all of your feedback. Again, you're here with me. I'm still rolling. Melanated news you can use. Hopefully, this information is useful to you, and I'm pulling some of my top stories. And hopefully, you will find these the information that I'm sharing something that you can apply. And so, like I said, a lot of this is very, very much focused on things that are happening in Los Angeles, but we have a lot of sports and entertainment, which by the analytics of other websites, it seems like you guys are 80 to 90% of the time more interested in entertainment stories. So we'll mix in politics as well. Now, I wanted to share another quick little clip, just something quick and easy and simple. And I was able to attend the Tribeca Film Festival, which I've been to actually in Tribeca. And it was, I always attended the ESPN sports programming block because they would do like the 30 for 30. ESPN was great for a lot of sports movies. And so it's really kind of cool that LeBron James, his Spring Hill company that he co-owns with his best buddy and sports executive Maverick Carter. So LeBron James and Maverick Carter has a Spring Hill company, and from that they have a website media platform called Uninterrupted. Uninterrupted had this bright idea to bring all of this sports programming to Hollywood. It's a film festival. It makes sense. I love when things come together like that. So. Gets a little noisy downtown, so I gotta make sure. So we're gonna shoot over to just a quick clip. I think I'm gonna try to put some more information. I have a lot more information from the Uninterrupted Film Festival, but just wanted to let you guys know a little bit more about what I'm doing, some of the work that I'm doing that combines Hollywood and sports. And so a film festival all about sports films and docs. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. And hopefully you guys will check out some of these projects in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll go right over to it. Here's some of my favorite stories in sports and news and politics.
This is Lady Lila Brown for a special episode of EBMG's Hollywood and Sports, where I curate the intersection of entertainment and athletics. I'm here at the first ever Uninterrupted Film Festival, centering athletes as creators. Powered by the Tribeca Film Festival, which was co-founded by actor Robert De Niro. Uninterrupted is the athlete empowerment brand within the Spring Hill Company, founded by LeBron James and Maverick Carter. This is all going down at Noy House in Hollywood during ESPYs Week, which was last night, the ESPY Awards. Programming includes the U.S. premiere of Black Ice, the 2022 TIFF People's Choice Award winner that exposes a history of racism in hockey through the untold stories of Black hockey players, both past and present. Gautam Chopra from Religion of Sports introduces the official world premiere of Goliath, the three-part documentary series from Showtime Sports that examines the historic life, career, and impact of Wilt Chamberlain, and an exclusive live podcast recording of The Draymond Green Show. You can get all the highlights and features from today's film festival by tuning into my YouTube channel. So be sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can also visit my website, lfbmediagroup.com, for more detailed information, exclusive interviews, coverage, photos, and links. Thank you so much for tuning in. A special shout out to all my subscriber member donations. I greatly appreciate it. But until next time, take care and good luck. Bye-bye.
Yay! Oh my gosh, anytime we're going smoothly here, I'm so thankful. But yes, I just had to let that be known because we had James Worthy there who talked about the life of Wilt Chamberlain, which was very interesting. LeBron James was there. He didn't come out and say hi to the guests. It was an inaugural event. But Maverick Carter, I think they're doing an amazing job over there. And so I thought that was a very smart idea to bring Tribeca Film Festival, at least the sports programming block, to Los Angeles. But Hollywood is on strike. And so I don't think that has really permeated all of Los Angeles just yet and understanding it, but I do know some local businesses are feeling it because of the lunch breaks and people not being hired. And there was one side of town that was being hired way more than the others. So I'm gonna keep pointing that out as long as they're in strike. For example, let's say there's a TV show filming and they got to feed the actors, they got to feed the background extras. Like, when you working on set, you get fed that day, okay? You get paid and you get fed. So imagine let's say, for example, there are 100 shows that are filming TV shows and films, all in Los Angeles in one day, every day, all year round. And then say, for example, 80 of those shows are, predominantly white cast. And then the 20 are like diverse shows, other types of shows, maybe some, alternative, like reality even, and maybe some predominantly black, maybe some Latina shows, international filming. Well, how much you want to bet when it's time to feed all those people, how many of them are actually going to black-owned restaurants, black-owned catering groups? How many of them are actually hiring, so if, let's say, 80 to 90% of the television shows that are out there and the movies, all these things that are filming, reality shows, if, like, you might see a TV show with maybe 5 to 10, 12 characters, all right? That's the top of the line. But when you go below the line and you see the grips and you see the unit publicist and you see, the director, and there's way more of those jobs. There's way more people behind the camera. There's only maybe 1 or 2, 3 actors ever on screen at the same time. And then maybe some background. These are A, B, and C conversations. So there's only a few people in front of the camera, but you don't realize that there's hundreds of people working behind the scenes, hair and makeup. So if those opportunities are not diverse, then are we really even affected? We have to figure out our own things, and we're not even in these unions. I believe for the longest, Tyler Perry was doing projects that were non-union, and he was getting his productions made. He was getting them done. He was getting them filmed. He was learning. He was experimenting. He was growing. He was expanding. So yeah, what gives? So that's pretty much where I am. That's the latest. There's so many other things going on in Hollywood. I think I'm gonna cut over to some footage. I think I got some more footage. Let's see. And I want to talk about how I manifested my dreams. Let's see if I can do this real quick. Let's see if it works. All right. Thank you for being here. And I got to manifest one of my dreams, which was going to the Getty House. I always had this vision that I would be there for a garden party. And this vision was materializing from somewhere because it happened. I was at a garden party at high sun afternoon and drinking champagne. I also had some visions about tea parties. So, but this is going to be the Madam Vice President there. Maybe we'll have Michelle Obama there. So in and around the Getty House, let's see. Do we keep that going here? Okay. Maybe we can just do some commentary. They had the band there playing. I don't want no copyright infringement for these copyrighted songs they were playing. Okay. All right. In and around the Getty House. Let's see. Make sure we're going good here. Hey, what's up? Who's here with me? Who's still here with me? Yeah, you're still here. All right. Let's see. I just wanted to share my personal story with y'all, and hopefully you know, we'll see.
I think one of my dreams is about to come true. I don't know. I have these visions and I have these goals and I have these things that I desire and want in life. And kind of just, in my own little world, making it happen. So I don't want to call it, even though I'm in Ralph, I don't want to call it just yet. But y'all go see, I know y'all go see it. So this is me taking a deep breath before the plunge. But I think I'm manifesting something that I envisioned about 6 months ago. But I don't know. That's how confused I am right now. Because I'm almost in shock and disbelief, like this cannot be happening. So, bear with me here. Oh my gosh, I must have done something right in life. I'm at the mayor's house, mayor of Los Angeles. Dang, like I dreamed about this, like I researched this house. Like she hasn't, no mayor has lived in this home in like the past 4 to 5 terms. And this mayor, being of the people and for the people, she took advantage of the mayoral perks. And she said, I'll live at the Getty House. So this is the Getty House, and we're honoring a United Nations ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. And Swiss stars. I mean, win with black women. That's all I gotta say. Win with black women. Like, we getting it done. I'm at the mayor's house. Like, I manifested this. I dreamed about this. This is stuff I want. So, if anybody's wondering, like, how did she get this? I don't know. I just wanted it. So they sent me the address because I was like, I don't want to go to none of this, right? I was like, I don't want to go to none of this. They sent me today, last minute, right? And then I saw it was United Nations, our ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. And I was like, I think that's a sister. So my melanated news you can use would love that, right? And then they sent me the address, and I put in that damn Google Maps, that Apple Maps, and it said something I had already been researching, the mayor's residence. I said, girl, sprinkle, sprinkle, you don't get your ass up like she Robin say it. Get up, sprinkle, sprinkle, get dressed every day. Be ready for the day every day. You don't know what the day will bring you. I'm at the mayor's house. No mayor has lived in this home in the past 4 years. This is insane. I just follow my dreams and my passion. This is like, you have outdone yourself. I'll take champagne. This is a celebration. Thank you.
So, yeah, here we go. As you can see here, the United Nations ambassador was being received this day. We had dignitaries and diplomats. That's our mayor, Karen Bass, and there she is with the UN ambassador. I thought it was really great that she was there. So this is just me again at the mayor's house. And that's me just, being a part of the reception. It was great. It was fun. It was nice. I met some amazing people. But I was really, really interested in what the United Nations ambassador had to say, especially since we had to endure Nikki Haley and still having to endure such heinous behavior from someone that's supposed to be so dignified. But she had brought, she's just setting up some preliminary stuff here because it's going to get way more complicated. So I appreciate this. Hearing from United Nations, headquartered in New York. So, yeah, and she was very appreciative of Los Angeles and the hospitality and our mayor. Because homelessness is a humanitarian issue. So I was wondering when we was going to bring in some humanitarian support and aid. This is great. This is great, actually.
Lovely mayor there, our beloved mayor. And the United States ambassador to our United Nations, Linda Greenfield here.
and more information about that will be coming up on my website. The mayor is a busy woman. I know she has other events this evening, which is insane because you think you want to stay here all night. But yes, we are at the Getty House. This is the mayoral residence, and I don't think this has been inhabited since longtime mayor Tom Brown policy.
Yeah, so again, like I was saying in this video, a lot of people are like, you know, what are you voting for Biden for? When are you using Biden? And because I know most people don't even understand geopolitics and can't even tell me half of what's going on in the Middle East and simultaneously what's happening in Russia and Ukraine and South America and at their own border. Can't even tell me what's happening up their street and through the woods and up the block. What we used to say when we were kids, up your ass and around the corner. You don't even know what's going on beside you. So I can appreciate a president that has good diplomacy. Nothing that's gonna put us in the risk of getting hit with a Mach 9. That's a possibility. So yeah, it's very important. So if you see, we have this fallout that's happening in Sudan. If you don't think that's connected to the Donald Trump Saudi Arabia arms deal, whatever he was doing with the Saudis, or the selling of secrets in documents and records, and he was trying to get Russia up in that G8, that G20. So ain't no telling what he was selling. That man would sell anything to anybody, the highest bidder. So Donald Trump most likely sold some secrets. So hope it's back to the drawing board. So I love that our mayor brought in the United Nations, and she was citing genocide in Sudan, but 400 years of genocide of indigenous people on these continents. Where's the reparations for that? Where's the reparations for in some type of restorative justice with retribution and repatriation? All these misnomers. So, I really wish we could have some geopolitical and socioeconomic news mixed up in there. But, it is what it is. So these are the stories I collected. So far, we're rolling about an hour here, and I'm glad we're still going. Hey. Look, we're going to keep the conversation going, definitely on fan base, because, and then when we do some more social commentary, things like that, I'll just go on my regular Facebook Live, if that's okay. And then maybe I'll download it and I'll put it on YouTube, if that's all right. I do like live conversations. I do like live discussions. And so there's so many amazing stories I want to be able to get to. Clarence Thomas. And understanding what the heck was going on with that. But Clarence Thomas, once upon a time, used to be wiggity woke. He was an activist, from what I understand from people that went to college with him. He was definitely down with the movement. He married a beautiful cis star. I mean, really, really pretty. Very, very pretty. And but Clarence Thomas has basically ruled that the U.S. Constitution is colorblind. It should be colorblind. And discrimination is still discrimination, even if it's in the affirmative for one group over another. Stop with all the affirmative action. What you really, truly need is reparations. So I just want to shout out and give flowers to the brother. Let us go on record for that. Thank you to Clarence Thomas. Affirmative action did not close the racial wealth gap. Affirmative action seemed like it gave us a Clarence Thomas. So how can you argue for affirmative action, how can you argue for affirmative action, then argue against what it create in a Clarence Thomas? Because we have a Ketanji Brown Jackson? Well, win with black women. Because when we get benefits, we actually bring the resources back to the community, and that's on record. Goldman Sachs agrees that black women are the better investment. Actually get some shit done. Oh, who would imagine the historic laborers can get things done? The problem is that they don't want to pay us what we're just due. So there's a pay disparity. So not only a racial disparity in income, but also gender-based inequalities. But you go out there and you work 3 to 5 times as hard, okay? You know, you go out there and work 5 times as hard and get paid 52 cents on the dollar. Who got time to waste like that? In the words of the famous sweet Georgia Brown, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nah, we don't have time for that. So I appreciate all the comments and those that were able to tune in. And, I keep my broadcast going. So if you want to listen to it later, definitely my broadcast is something that hopefully you can just, once it's smooth, you can put on and you can listen and learn. And man, I have a lot of other great stories I hope to get to. But you can always check out, speaking of reparations, I got one more since we in the reparation conversation. Yeah, since last time we had the conversation about reparations on my broadcast, we were noting that housing could use a little bit of reparation to cure homelessness. So yeah, I got some background noise. I just wanted to make sure that passed. So think about it. Using reparations to aid in issues such as homelessness. I think I like that idea. I think it's problem solved. If we're 8% of the population but 40% of homelessness, wouldn't reparations Yeah, so this thing just kind of does whatever it wants to do. I see. I'm just playing around with stuff. Let's see your comments. You say you feel bad for all the homeless people in Texas. We are in the hundreds degrees. Oh, y'all need some water cooling stations. I think from what I understood, Houston did a really good job with bringing its homeless population down to zero. Now, granted, they don't have 40,000 people to remove from homelessness and other groups largely at risk. Maybe they do. But I think it was about 2,000 people that were homeless, and they were able to bring those numbers down to zero. The mayor out there, Sylvester Turner, has done a great job from what I understand. But yeah, that's something that we had to note in Los Angeles. Like, it's hot. Y'all know we get real hot, like summertime wildfire hot. So you do have to think about that. So sometimes when I'm outside, it's like, we need water. So maybe your Department of Water and Power or something like that could be setting up cooling water stations, maybe at the parks, from time to time. Like, have those big old tanks of water. That could be helpful. That might be helpful. Yeah, I can understand that. So you do have to consider the seasons in addressing homelessness and doing so in a compassionate way. But think about it. If 40% of your homeless population is disproportionately one group, and then the person that is in charge of that, facilitating resources and fund, looks differently, maybe there's a lack of compassion that we've seen. Maybe these people don't understand. Like, how can somebody be homeless? We don't understand. We've had everything handed to us. What do you mean? Like, you didn't get like $1 million graduation gift when you graduated from your Ivy League school that your parents? So they it's no way they could be compassionate. They are the beneficiaries of colonization, neocolonialism. They are the beneficiaries. thank you for watching. It is Monday, July 24th, 2023. We are here. We are live. We are broadcasting. And so we went over maybe about 2 broadcasts back. We went over the recommendations and understanding the housing issues and why this group of people is disproportionately homeless. So, yes, cutting through red tape and bureaucracy is one thing, and expediting resources here. But if you don't address systemic racism, the devaluation of home appraisals, gentrification, redlining, housing covenants, Section 8, voucher discrimination, employment, economic exclusion, exclusion from attending certain universities, not paying athletes for more than 50 years of NCAA, telling black people that they couldn't play basketball. We had to go through that. Why they just had their head start and say, well, let us get, and then we come in, we dominate. That's why they needed a head start, because if we would have started at 0 with them, we would have just never not been involved. How you gonna tell indigenous American descendants of that invented the sport of putting a spherical object made of animal hide? How you gonna tell them? And they were putting it through a peach basket and making recreation sports out of anything. The inventors of the sport of basketball, for which James B. Naismith took credit for, ain't invented nothing. We invented sports and dominated sports, but they invented it. Stop playing with me. The reason my people are good at sports is because we're the originators of this sport. We are the originators of soccer. We are the creators of basketball. You should call it peach basketball in that case. That's why College Hall of Fame is in Kansas. We invented these stick and ball sports. We invented playing dice and marbles. These are all our ancient civilization games that has been modernized. Why do you think we do so well in the main Olympic sports? The oldest of Olympic sports is track and field. The original, it was only 3 Olympic sports. That brings me to my Olympic story, World Day. There was soccer that came all the way from South America. But the 3 original sports, we had track and field, boxing, and wrestling. Niggas was getting ready for war. Olympics was all about war preparation. What the are they not teaching these kids in school? Thank goodness I went to a classical Greek school. Ancestors came through. The ancestors came through on that one. I mean, come on. So I found an Olympic story today that I'm so happy that I can share with y'all in real time. I just, put this story out not even an hour now. So thank you. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. We are 1 year out from the Paris Olympics. And so this week, we will officially be 1 year out from the Paris Summer Games next year. So just bear with me here, because this is all a big issue. And so you will see me on this broadcast counting down. So I got a little bit of sports news, international sports news. Oh, okay, here we go. So yes, the Olympics is coming here. I wanted to, yeah, my bad for that. We'll get that back going. So close, so close. All right. Yeah, so I'm glad I was able to do that. Bring over to the Olympics. Let's go back to. All right, we'll go back to the Olympic story. So we're 1 year out. This week is marking 1 year out. But I'm checking my levels here. I want to make sure we get this information. And thank you. We'll go back to the story. And yeah, we just got about a year from now, and it'll be 2 weeks of Olympic sports.
This week marks 1 year to go until the Paris 2024 Summer Olympic Games. The Games will be celebrated in France and around the globe. This week's activities and celebrations will show how the Olympic Games is adapting to one of the world's most popular cities. This will be the first games planned and delivered fully in line with the reforms of Olympic Agenda 2020, serving as a blueprint for future Olympic Games to inspire other major events. For the first time in history, athlete participation will be 50% female. Paris 2024 will also set new sustainability standards for major sporting events, reducing the game's carbon footprint by half. Parisian monuments will be transformed into competition venues, with everyone having a chance to be involved, whether or not they have a ticket. The games will be more urban than ever before, with a compact setting and opportunities for mass participation. Le Marathon pour tous will give more than 20,000 members of the public a chance to run the Olympic course. On July 26th next year, the first ever Olympic Games opening ceremony will be held in a city center. It will take place on the River Seine, at the heart of Paris. Over 7 million tickets have already been sold for the 19 days of competition next summer. We have more updates coming up later this week, so make sure you stay tuned.
Okay, great. We're still here. So I'm just happy the broadcast is still going. So I'm happy I got that story in. I'm glad I was able to kind of like, just stick around, keep the broadcast going, and get that story over. So yeah, that makes me very excited. And as you can see in my ticker here, I like to continue my live discussions on Fanbase. And then if it's a very specific topic I want to discuss, you can check out my Spotify as well. So Zola, are you ready? Look, Zola, you ready to continue the conversation? We started a conversation talking about some social issues because of some things that are happening in the social media manosphere world. And we wanted to, just talk about being our best sister star selves. So to all my sisters, my sisters, if you want to have more in-depth conversations with me, you can go on Fanbase. It is, considerably, apparently, seemingly a Black-owned social media app, very similar to Clubhouse in its audio room style, but it has a little bit more social media integrated functions. So what we do is I host and open up a audio room where it's not a podcast, but I kind of treat it like a live podcast. It's not recorded, but I will host like tea parties, online audio room tea parties live. You got to catch me when you can. I need to start promoting it on my Twitter. But if you are on Fanbase, congratulations, you are helping a Black-owned company. Zola be helping me moderate over there. And I love when she shares her experiences as well. And so our last conversation, let's talk about the billionaire surge. Hopefully I can share this story really quickly. The billionaires are surging. Here we go. The billionaires are surging. Oh my gosh. So look at this. Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, the world's top 500 billionaires are experiencing a revenue surge for the most part of $14 million per day. So remember, while the other beta males are out there talking about mama, daddy, baby mama, baby daddy drama issues and talking about women submitting and all kind of other heinous acts of massage noir, there are a group of men out there who are surging at $14 million a day. And some of them have sons, and some of them have best friends, and some of them have cousins, and some of them have, paid employees that earn, a lot in their board of directors. So, ladies, get information. Let's get information. Get it, information. Anybody? The billionaires having a surge. So hopefully this story, I know hopefully they don't get me from no copyright infringement. But the billionaires are having a surge of $14 million a day. And they want to talk around and playing around on friggin' on TikTok all day. There's a group of men who are at the poverty line, and maybe they realize they're not going to be viable economic players. The billionaires are surging! Yay! Let's be happy for them. Somebody made good out of this, recession. Somebody made it out the recession. I guess they do have a paywall, but we're going to see if we can still get it. Okay, yeah. The billionaires are surging. I think I'm good. Yeah, let's see. So when we're talking about, so basically the conversation that I was trying to have on Facebook, that I was trying to have, was basically about choosing wealthy and successful men. That'll stop a lot of the baby mama drama. That'll stop a lot of these issues in the community. All right, great. So I'm gonna make sure that we get some of these, get this going. So I just have to remind people that while y'all arguing with beta males on the internet, this is the social commentary portion of melanated news you can use. While y'all arguing with beta males, not Lila, not anymore. I've converted. We polished it up. All right, let's get into it. The billionaires, and remember that when you're listening to somebody on a podcast and they are arguing about socioeconomic issues, remember there's a group of men that are not on any of this social media stuff for real. They probably got like an intern on their behalf, and they are surging at $14 million a day. How do you make $14 million a day for the past 6 months of 2023? The past from January 1st until now, they have been surging huge billion-dollar revenues. Getting right into this story.
Seeing his own net worth jump by more than anyone so far this year. He and the world's 500 richest people have gained more than $850 billion in wealth. And that's according to the Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. Annie Massa reported on this story for us at Bloomberg, and she joins us now. Annie, the incredible thing here is it's not just the world's biggest billionaires. Actually, every member of the index made an average of $14 million per day over the last 6 months. How much of this is just a function of the market?
Well, it's absolutely a function of the market. The S&P 500, of course, did quite well, rising 16%. So that did not, that was very helpful to all of these billionaires. And gains in the tech sector.
All right, so I'm just gonna, let's talk about that. Let's pause it right there. All right. We went through the Bloomberg Billionaire Index on my fan base conversation, and your Jay-Z's, your Rihanna's are not on that list. The number one billionaire all the way to the 500th billionaire, and the last billionaire listed was at $5 billion. Okay, so go through this, look at this here. So while everybody's on the internet complaining about socioeconomic issues in the black community, what's wrong with the black community, while everybody's talking about that, the billionaires are having a surge of $14 million a day. And what they're not out there doing is rapping about we don't love them hoes. What they're not out there doing is playing nobody's basketball. What they're not out there doing is out there twerking, not performing on stage. You do not see the billionaires shaking some string for a little piece of change. So, essentially, every time I see a TikTok video, I am reminded that there are billionaires on yachts in the middle of the Pacific or the south of France in the Mediterranean and floating around in the Sea of Yemen or exploring, Madagascar or the Maldives or somewhere in the Caribbean. What I look like arguing with somebody on TikTok when I go to these parties, the billionaires are not asking me to bring anything to the table. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Look, speaking of She-Ra, y'all saw my She-Ra clip. Y'all saw my She-Ra clip. Don't act like you didn't see it. Y'all saw my She-Ra clip. So I'm going to show over to my book review. Yes, here at LB Media Group, we also do book reviews. Since we have such a great, smooth broadcast going, y'all know this is rare. Yes, I did a book review. I'm not sure if you got to see it. If my sister is still here. Yes, I also do book reviews. And I reviewed 3 books. And one of them was a book called I Bring Nothing to the Table. So when you ladies go out on your rare dates, because, let's be honest, the report says that they're too lonely and broke to go on dates. And I think I'm going to raise a conversation about that as well. But social studies are showing that most young men do not have the funds to take a young lady on dates. Only one group of men can afford to date. I wonder what racial classification he was in. Only two groups of men really have the income to date. I don't care if they're white, Hispanic, white, not Hispanic, white, and Asian. So if we just left it up to the white and Asians, they would, if the men that are talking about polygamy, so now we're going over to the social commentary side. So if the social commentary is not your thing, sex, love, dating, relationships, marriage, family, socioeconomics, the social studies are saying that the men don't have enough money to date. So I just wanted to make sure we got our sprinkle on. I think this is a great way to kind of leave it there. Yay. Hip hip hooray. Oh yeah. So I got to review 3 books. So we're gonna do a sprinkle book club series. So if you get this book, if you're still here with me, please comment. Thank you. And I'm just shooting over to bringing you a compilation of all my favorite videos throughout the past couple of days, maybe a week or 2. I try to do my broadcast and bring you all up to speed with some amazing developments. But for the things I can't fit into the broadcast, please check out my YouTube, ellabmediagroup.com. Great. Thank you. Book review, She-Ra 7, Sprinkle book club series, plus some experts from the book. Maybe you'll enjoy.
Hello and welcome to a special segment of LB Media Group. So from time to time, I will engage in other content outside of just media and red carpet events and fashion shows. I actually love reading. I love books. And you will see me from time to time on this page do book reviews. So I'm excited about this latest book series I just purchased. And I'm not done with all the books, but I just could not wait to let you all know. I'll get right into it because it's a lot of information, and I wanted to build community with other fans of this author. So the author here is none other than herself, the amazing goddess She-Ra 7, a She-Ra goddess. She plays to both her lifestyle but also spiritual, so I really appreciate that. I had to get everything I can get my hands on. I think at the time I was purchasing, I only saw 3 books. I believe she has up to 5, maybe even more. So I wanted to get right into it and just give my review so far, and then let you know what I have in store and what I'm expecting to get from this amazing author. So the first book I'm reading is a very quick and easy read. It is called I Bring Nothing to the Table. So when I first heard this title, I thought it was so funny because that's that age-old question, very modern, but age-old question that is circulating in our community right now. And this is something that I'm assuming men are asking on dates, but I definitely see it all over the podcast world online. And so it was a very quick and simple answer that she gave, which I love, is I bring nothing to the table. I am the guest of honor. So for those that follow me, they know I'm a socialite. I go to events. I'm working. I'm enjoying. It depends on what I want to do that day. And so I really love this concept. Think about it. You're going to a beautiful sponsored event, and the guest of honor really is appreciative of everyone that's there. And so I think our people are sometimes in the mindset like they want to get in the kitchen and start cooking, and they want to start helping with the servers. And I highly doubt these people will be at these events, but that's the mentality. So I appreciate all the amazing events that I go to around Los Angeles, New York, really around the world that I've been to, and never once has the the party host ever asked me to bring something like it's a potluck type style karaoke, everybody BYO, whatever. That has never happened. So that just reminded me of the luxury lifestyle, the luxurious lifestyle that our party hosts, they are appreciative of our presence. We are the guests, and they want us to feel at home, feel comfortable, and feel like we're a part of the celebration. So I always keep that in mind. And because of her passage there, I thought that was great advice. And so the book goes into the glossary of terms that you may see on her or hear on her show. And so pick Misha, for example, and from my understanding, she coined this phrase, pick Misha, a desperate woman who will do and say anything to be picked by a man, even if he is broke. And I believe she has a video called Are You Desperate for Dust? And I think about it more and more, and I start to realize a lot of our sisters are SD, sugar daddy, Bob, the builder chick. I think she's elevated to Barbara, the builder, which I love that term. So sisters got to get out of that. We are not construction workers. Stop playing with us. And even if you go to the comedic sciences, okay, you had the builders of the pyramids, but you had Shashat, who came up with the mathematics. So all she brought to that situation was her brain power and the mathematics and how to build the pyramids. So don't go out there slaving to build pyramids and nations. You've done enough. But I just love this. A woman who builds with a man or builds up a man with her own money and career. She eventually gets left for another woman after he becomes financially stable. Whew, I don't want to start getting into no personal stories, but good gracious. And you'll hear her say on her show a lot, Dusty, the Dusties, a broke man who needs a woman's financial help on dates, living expenses, and more. He has no ambition and no money. And there's a report going around right now that most young men are lonely and broke and they can't afford to date, whereas with young women, they're pretty much all taken. So, young girls, congratulations to you. POT, potential sugar daddy, or maybe say pot. I haven't heard her use that term, so I'll be on the lookout for that. Bonetta, a woman who wears her sleeping bonnet and pajamas in public. It's not safe to do that, ladies. So for so many reasons. Ratchetta, the ratchet chick who has no manners and is very trashy in the way she walks, talks, dresses, and thinks. She usually never gets a second date. And then we got Sharkeisha, a typical hood chick who we know will not hesitate to fight a sister in public and for the world star. So then the book goes into question and answer. I'm just gonna just randomly pick here. Okay, great. So she goes right into the Q&A. I'll read some here. Just a few passages for the remainder of this book. Very quick, easy, light read. As you can see, very thin here. It says, what can a woman bring to the table? The answer, I bring nothing to the table unless he wants me to bring another man who needs nothing from me. A woman can be invited to the table as the guest of honor, and that's it. She can bring herself. If a man needs you to bring something else, then he is not a man who deserves company. He needs to go back to the drawing board until he can afford something besides a potluck. We're not Pygmishas. Maybe you want to invite Pygmisha and she'll pay the whole thing out of frustration. Why can't women look and dress well while being less demanding? Answer, because looking and dressing well costs money. If men don't have money, we can't look and dress well for them. We don't waste our time getting dressed up for Applebee's or Starbucks. We're not going to waste our time getting dressed so we can stick our own hand in our purses to buy our own drinks. The least men can do is pay for a meal at a fine restaurant because we have spent hours getting ready to look good for him. He needs to do the rest. If he can't, we can easily walk over to somebody else who can do it for us. And all the effort we took to get ready will pay off. And I'll just read one more here because y'all really need to get this. It's just, I was just going through it. And it seems like her comment section, during her live sometimes. So maybe if you get her book, you won't ask so many of the same redundant questions. Some guys are attached to the idea that a woman ought to know how to cook. Why is that? They keep mistaking you as their mother. Here's my idea, according to She-Ra 7, Sprinkle Sprinkle, I love her. She says, when a modern woman thinks about a romantic relationship or marriage, I don't think she thinks about cooking. I think she desires a nice husband who's respectful and who can give her a nice house, kids, and go on vacations, etc. She's not thinking about being in the kitchen washing dishes while he sits in front of the TV and eats. If I ever cook, the man better be at the dinner table and not watching TV. He needs to be talking about something of interest. I'm not cooking if he's going to sit in front of the TV and watch it. That's a waste of a meal. And I think it's best for families to sit and eat together. 3 books that I have here, but this is the second one. And so, beautiful there, as you can see. And this is called Leveling Up to Your Best Life, Creating a Life of Comfort and Luxury, of course, by the author She-Ra 7. She is also the author of I Bring Nothing to the Table. You just saw here The Wisdom of She-Ra 7 and Do What You Love. And I think she has another one called I'm Too Pretty to Pay Bills. That concept is ringing true. I love it. Leveling up to your best life will allow you to start from where you are. This book will help you make the most of what you already have, which I love because it's all about using the resources that you spend so much money on, and then you're like, I need to still buy more, but you haven't utilized, you haven't enjoyed the home that you worked so hard to enjoy. This book will help you make the most of what you already have and learn to add a touch of comfort and luxury to all that you experience. Allow this book to take you on a cozy journey into what you never thought was possible in your current lifestyle. This book is for any budget and also allows you to be creative and joyful doing what you love. Learn how to enjoy your life a lot more. Staying in love with life is how we achieve happiness. Leveling Up to Your Best Life is a book you will want to read over and over to stay in love with life. And I will admit, there are some chapters that I'm not feeling right now. I may not be up for it, but I can see myself going back to it. And I remember I was reading one chapter, I think it was the Unbothered, and I'm like, I'm not feeling that right now. As soon as I thought that, I got a really weird phone call, and it just kind of really upset me. And I was like, Now I'm ready for this chapter. I mean, it was that quick, so I just wanted to give that advice. But what I love about this book is that she gives us very beautiful aesthetics. So I wanted to show you an example because she herself is so pretty. I wanted to share, like, this is the kind of photos she's including in her messaging. And so this is a lifestyle I already have, I already live, and so it's already in my home, but I haven't really taken time to enjoy it. And most days I do, but I'm like, I can cozy up a whole lot more than what I'm doing. So I love that she's sharing with us her aesthetic. This is one of my favorite places in the world. Oh my gosh, I love Rodeo Drive. But look at, and with an amazing capture. That is, for those that are coming, you know, that hill you come down, you go, I just said, whoa. I've seen some beautiful shots of Rodeo Drive, but this in Beverly Hills, that takes the cake. That is so beautiful to look at in between learning the lessons. And I love that, this is the comfort and luxury chapter. And I love that she gives a summary at the end of every chapter, just to kind of go back over. So I'll give an example, just an excerpt here, because I really need to go buy this Sistar's book, support the Sistar. She says, always look for solutions rather than focusing on the problem or what seems to bother you. And I just had that same lesson in a business lesson not too long ago, and it said, do not pitch a problem without providing a solution. I love it. So again, staying unbothered is a form of self-care. Take a break from any issue that seems to bother you. Learn how to respond to the people who tend to bother you. Disconnect from Wi-Fi sometimes in order to limit companies from over-advertising or emailing you, because we all say it. The phones, the devices are listening. So I love that she's preaching more about a digital detox. In the next section, you will learn, and then she'll give you a preview of what's going on, how to spend quality time with those you love and how to make that quality time comfortable and luxurious. I will explain expensive and traditional ways to have fun and bond that you can afford. For those who are able to spend, I will also explain several ways how you can bond with others and feel the comforts and luxury in your life. And so this is a book that I haven't gotten into yet. She-Ra, The Wisdom of She-Ra 7, Daily Affirmations and Quotes. But I really think this is going to be the book that I probably go to every day, just, you know, to get my mind right. And so she says on this one, thank you to everyone. You allow me to follow my passions to help others become their best versions of self. I would not be here if it were not for all of my wonderful subscribers, followers, friends, and family. Stay dust-free and love yourself. Sprinkle, sprinkle from She-Ra 7. So happy for her. And I thought this was the least I could do, because I can't comment because I've only been following for like 4 or 5 months yet, and I think she's only put in like 5 years. But I think that's very wise of her, and that shows self-care as well, because even though the questions are redundant, and I learned from the redundant questions, I'm still going back and looking over all her content, and that's what we should be doing. And every TV show have breaks of filming in between. Sometimes you just gotta let people, when you have a series out or what have you, you know, they break up seasons, they go on hiatus, there's a mid-season break, what have you. Take time, let some things, you know, happen, get caught up. And I think that's what she's doing. I think that's a sign of self-love, to not overexert yourself and to say, I've put out 10 years worth of content. That's what she says. I don't blame her. Let us all get caught up, since she's going viral on TikTok, and that's not her, that's somebody else is using her numbers to, you know, get their account up, but that's not cool. So I'm just going to go into this. And so as you can see here, I'll read these because maybe I need this for today. I can only control me, and when you can control self, you can change your environment. I love that. And I like this one too. The best revenge on an ex is to get a better one, look better, and become out of his league so he can never afford you again. And hey, level up. And so again, I love the aesthetics. I love the photos she uses. Very polished, very clean. Says you're going to get tired after a while and want to settle down after a certain age. Oh my gosh, that's where I am in life now. Read me, sister, as I read you. After a certain age, so you should focus on doing that younger rather than later. It's going to be harder later. And then another one, if a man is not paying your bills and you're still working, you should not be sleeping with him. Hey, look, lesson learned. Look, coming out of this pandemic, this is how we should arise from the ashes, much like the phoenix. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to get back into this. I'm going to put on my classical music because I'm listening to Joseph Bologne de Chevalier de Saint Jorge's right now, which is one of our own French Creole composers from the Caribbean. And I just saw the movie, so that's one of the lessons she gives as well. Just cozy up with your favorite tea.
Luxury lifestyle. Luxury, luxuriousness, the lifestyle. This is the life. That's the life. Oh, okay, great. Are we still good here? All right, we still going strong here. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna open up a room because we're in the evening time and people are winding down, and I really do enjoy fan base, and I want to continue the discussion coming out of that. So all my social media is connected. I love it. All my social media is connected. So let's see. Yeah, and so we bounce around from social media, all these different opportunities to get the message out. There are a lot of opportunities to, really cause some positive change. And it starts with getting accurate information. So, I'm glad I got to get that out there today. Yes, this has been another edition of Melanated News you can use. Yay! We were able to get into some international news stories. Yay! We survived. We went pretty much, didn't have any technical difficulty for the most part. This is great. I appreciate everyone that tunes in, when you can, even if it's just for a few moments. I appreciate it. Make sure you check out my social media. I like to put a lot of fun clips. I like to put a lot of in-between information while I'm gathering stories. So, yeah. I'm so very thankful. And until next time, make sure you tune in to everything we have going on here. We're winding down. Great broadcast. And we'll keep doing some of my other favorite stories as they come along. And we'll keep it microeconomics and government. We'll keep it macro. Micro, we'll do international and domestic. This is Lady Lila Brown reporting on the scene and reporting live, throwing it back, some of my clips. And from there, we'll keep the party going on my stories page. It's been really fun. Just chasing these stories, getting more information, digging in, investigating, observing, and just, maybe changing my perspective and hopefully can help you have a more well-informed opinion. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll check with you all later. You can DM me, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.